Running. I know running's huge for you.
Yeah.
And you've written quite a few books, and yet none of them seem to be on snooker. So writing and writing and running seem to be two big interests for you.
Yeah, running was just I kind of fell into it accidentally, if you like. I never liked running, and I kind of still don't really. I always kind of get this fear that I dread the thought of having to go out and do a hard track session. Going for a little plod around the forest, I can kind of just, it's not too bad. So it's never been something, but it's been so good to me over the years that it's really hard for me to turn my back on it. I love the community aspect of running. It's probably one of the only things that when you turn up to meet other runners, like no one's interested in what you do for a job or career. It's just about, that gets dropped at the door and you just put your trainers on, you go out, and it's a great social sort of way. And most, probably 99.9% of runners are just really not materialistic people either. So for me, it's great to be around as many of them type of people as I can, because in my world and in a lot of this Western world, it is kind of like, a lot of people seem to, it's like a social climbing sort of world that you can kind of get caught up in, which I don't really like. So for me, it just kind of gets me away from that part of life that I don't like and into more of the life that I do like, So running's been massive, yeah, running's huge for me. I had 10 years where I couldn't really run properly either, so that was kind of like difficult because I had a lot of injuries and I had a lot going on in my personal life, so I kind of didn't really do much of it. But obviously since the lockdown happened, gymnasiums was closed, there wasn't much you could do really other than just exercise outside. So one of my friends, Eric, who I kind of lost contact really for 10 years, I phoned him, I said, look, a bit of a loose end here, I've got a lot of time on my hands, so he said, come, we'll go for a run over the forest, we'll go nice and easy. And I think it took me an hour to do 5 miles, and I was like, oh, really? I used to do 5 miles in 27 minutes, and now it's taking me an hour.
We all used to, didn't we?
Yeah, it was like 10 years ago as well, and I was thinking, I can't imagine being able to run 5 miles in 30 minutes again, and here I am, like 5 miles in an hour. So I was like, wow. But just slowly, I just kind of just stuck at it, and the times, got a little bit faster, and so I felt a little bit better about myself. And I always like to say, for me now, running has to be about the benefits of running, because obviously, snooker can be quite mentally exhausting, and I kind of always like to. I look around at a lot of snooker players, because I live on the tour and you see people's lives, and I don't talk to them all the time, but you always get a feeling of what a guy is up to in his life, and I think a lot of snooker players have to have an addiction to kind of cope with playing snooker, because it can be really quite a mentally demanding sport, and some people drink, food, gamble, they play computer games, and it's just a way of kind of just trying to sort of cope with the demands, if you like, of being a professional snooker player. For me, running and keep fit was that addiction, So, running has been massive for me, and, I owe a lot to it, and, and hopefully I can just keep going now. I'm 45 and I feel the fittest I have for 10 years. And, I'm really, I'm a huge sort of health freak, if you like. I was so unhealthy for so long, maybe from, when I was like 10 up to like 25, that I think, I've kind of like, it's like Benjamin Button, I'm doing it the opposite way around, I've kind of like started getting into keep fit later, whereas in my early part of my life I was hamburgers, chips, tomato ketchup, down the snooker club, put on a bit of weight, but I could play snooker, so I think after I come out the Priory, I realised that, I've got this addictive nature, and it's up to me now how... I'm never going to get rid of that addiction, and I always like to think it's a good driving force in my life. So, as long as I channel it into the right direction, then with that, that sort of drive, if you like, you can do pretty